So I thought I'd do a little video diary of hot composting using the Berkeley method. So this is mostly horse manure mixed with bedding, bit of grass, bit of straw. Nothing too exciting here. It's fairly obviously manure. Some nice big lumps of the stuff too. This is day one. So this is 115 centimetres wide, 100 centimetres deep, and about 80 centimetres tall. All held together, cardboard on the outside. We'll have some jumbo builder's bags over the top to insulate it. We're going to see what this looks like day by day as we look to get it hot composting. And just for reference, this was manure treated exactly the same way. Had about 3-4 weeks being composted, and now you can see it's a lovely dark rich colour. It's really crumbly, really nice texture, perfect for mulching, especially on something like this, which is a big no-dig bed. Just by way of comparison, I've got a Dalek 2/3 full of stuff that was basically too much to fit in the hot compost. So you can see a mixture of, again, manure, bedding, bit of veg waste too. So the site, it's 1 o'clock here in the afternoon. The site has already lost a lot of its light, and the 2 compost heaps by just after midday will have no more sunlight, so I'm relying just on microbial action. So it's now been well watered. It's showing up at 15 or so degrees ambient temperature, and it will get covered up with some builder's bags and left for 4 days. We'll check it every day just to see whether it's warming up nicely. So you can see we're day 2. It's sitting at just over 20 degrees, 22, 23 degrees. It's just entering the mesophilic stage. It's gradually warming up. Here we are on day 3. You can see it looks very similar. Not really much visual change. We are seeing a little bit of life around, but you can see on the thermometer there, it's now clocking in close to 50 degrees in the core there near this aeration tube. So it's the final day tomorrow where we'll let the mesophilic stage finish, and the thermophilic stage, which should really kick in, where we get above 55-60 degrees, that sort of temperature, where we start killing off everything, all the pathogens, all of the seeds that may be in here. So we're on day 4. Just thought we'd check in with the Dalek, which is sitting around 40 degrees, just over 40. Just taking the cover off, you can see some dark patches. I don't know whether you can see. It's a cool morning this morning, and there's some steam just beginning to rise. So I'll take a temperature reading. It's rising very rapidly there. There we are, over 60. It's up to 65. It's still creeping up slightly. That's sitting at about 65-66 degrees, 15 centimetres into the pile, which is hot enough to do our first turn. So we're going to empty the whole container. We'll take the outside and turn it inside, and the inside, turn it outside. So we're midway through the turn. In the centre there you can see the lighter coloured material, which used to be around the outside, and the dark layered material around the outside. I'm yet to remove that corner. We have a bag of the old core material, a bag of the old outside material. I find trying to empty the entire thing is actually, there's too much volume. So part emptying and then moving everything around inside works really well. Hopefully you can see how much it's steaming. Even the outside was at 30-40 degrees. So it's really active at the moment. So here we are, fully turned. What you can see on top here is the lovely dark material that was on the inside, the previous core. So it's about 10 centimetres thick on the top here, and the same all the way around the outside. And then all of what's in the middle was previously on the outside. So I don't know whether you can see that. That's cores there sitting at 43, 15 centimetres down, so that's the previous outside. It's taken around an hour to turn this volume of material, in part because it's a bit physically constrained. But it certainly warms you up on a cold morning. Here we are again, day 6, and we had a lot of heavy rain overnight last night, so I was expecting the temperatures to potentially be a bit lower. But coming in at just below 70, about 68. Lovely and warm again. So I'm going to turn it inside out again. So this is just by way of reference. I thought I'd stick it a couple of centimetres from the edge, and you can see that sitting at almost bang on 50. So even the very edges in this thermophilic stage are still quite warm. So here we are, partway through the turn. You can see I've cleared most of 2 sides, piled any extra stuff up in the back corner so I don't get it mixed up. We'll load in all of the hot stuff in this jumbo bag around the edge, and then around these 2 edges, level off with the stuff from the back, and then more of the hot stuff around the back edges. Load the old outside we've just taken out on top and cover it all up with the old core. Be about 40 minutes this turn. Good idea is using, when you've got the core out, you can put a jumbo bucket like this, one of the big flexi buckets, flexi tubs, inside the centre and just push the outside walls straight into it, save you digging. It's much more straightforward, much quicker. Piles all covered back up again. It's all fully turned. Just take a quick temperature read before we're done for the day. Turn 2. The core there is much cooler. It's 36. Just shows how much cooler the outside has got just through turning it, and by nature of being on the outside. We'll come back tomorrow. I imagine that'll be sitting more like 60. By way of reference to the Darley. Now, core's still sitting about 45. So another day, day 7. It's turned yesterday and it was sitting at 30 odd degrees. I haven't uncovered it fully. Just stuck the thermometer in. I'm going to see that's sitting nicely, almost bang on 70 degrees now, so that core has warmed up overnight incredibly quickly. Everything in the centre there was being killed off. All of the any weed seeds, or any seeds at all, pathogens, everything will be getting cooked down. And it will be a lovely inert, safe to use compost. So here we are, this is day 8. Well, you can see that steaming up. It's at 68 degrees, 15 centimetres down there. And we're again, a day ahead of schedule because the batch arrived already in the mesophilic composting stage, so we're going to turn it again today, outside in, inside out. So day 9, sitting at 63 degrees, less than 24 hours after it was turned. See, it's still, there are still some parts that are recognisable as manure, but far fewer. And I've been, every time I turn it, I try and break down the larger lumps. Yeah, like this that you could see. That's manure, just crumbling it down. So there's much greater surface area then to break down. Some of these are actually, they've formed themselves when the compost has been being turned. They've actually rolled like a snowball and formed themselves, some of the smaller ones, but many of these larger ones are original. So we'll come back again hopefully tomorrow to check the temperature again and turn it once more. It's certainly gone a lovely dark colour, much more akin to compost. Alright, so here we are, day 10. We're over halfway. Let's have a check in. So we're at 66 degrees there, 15 centimetres down. Certainly, I'm checking this in the afternoon, so the air's warmed up a bit, it's not steaming quite as much. But it's definitely looking a lot more like compost. So, yet another turn. Outside in, inside out. Turned over now, and you can see it's down about 35 degrees. So we'll check back in tomorrow, see where we've got to. Day 11, horrible day here. We've had 2.5 centimetres of rain, that's an inch of rain. The pile's still heating up. I don't know whether that's easy to see. It's coming in at about 52. Still looking really well mulched down. So we'll come back tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be drier because I don't fancy doing a load of work in this weather. And we'll see whether it's ready to be turned again. Here we are then. Day 12. So I've brought something that should be much easier to see, so you can see that's almost exactly 65 degrees. It does reach a bit deeper, so the older one's reading about 60 there or thereabouts for comparison. You can see it doesn't look much different to yesterday. Still lots of dark material, looking much more like compost. I'll pull back just the surface a tiny bit, you won't be able to see steam. It's not a cold day here particularly. It's 17-18 degrees, so it's really still got some heat in it. So we're going to do a semi-turn today. I'm not feeling brilliant, so we'll do a semi-turn, just make sure it's aerated. So we're part way through a partial turn. You can see I've taken most of the old core out. I've left anywhere between 20 to 40 centimetres around the edge. You see this is there we go. So that's the edge there, about I'd say 15 centimetres in from the side, and that's running about 50 degrees, so it's still quite warm even at this point. So I'm going to clap some of this, the edge of the core, in on itself. I should say I took the whole top off before I started, and that's going to become the new core. But I'm just going to clap some of this edge of the old core in to form the base, which is obviously in the centre is cooler because the heat rises. And then we'll load the old top back into here to fill it in, and then the old absolute core will go over the top and have a chance to cool. Just thought we'd have a look at the Dalek, see how that's looking. I mean, you can see much lighter in colour than the one that's been turned. Still lots of very recognisable bits of manure, bits of straw, bits of bedding, and even some sprouting seeds. So you can see the difference between the two is stark. So day 13, you see the big one there, which is about 40 centimetres into the pile, the very core there now. It's just over 60. There's a little one, if I can get it in focus, which is much higher up. It's more like 50 degrees. So more rain and winds overnight. Oh, there's a loose stone in there. So its core is heated right up again. Shows it's not quite ready to be done. It's at what, 62? Not bad at all. Cover it up again, maybe turn it tomorrow. Day 14. Subject to temperature, I think we'll turn it again today. So you see about 50 centimetres in, it's in at 65 degrees. So it's a bit cooler than it was, I think. When you look at the little one, the reading 57 maybe. So it's cooling a little. It's not heating up as much because it's much warmer overnight as well. Still some larger lumps which are much more brown inside, which we need to break down a bit further, but these have been cooked down effectively, so they're sterile at least. And some of those that you can break down, you see materials going dark just like you'd expect from a crumbly compost. Next to no smell on it, so it's very nearly ready to use. This may well be the final turn I do, then I'll just let it sit for a week or two, make sure it's fully ready. So we'll do a pretty full turn and see whether it warms up properly again. Day 15, so it's just 24 hours after it was turned. See, much cooler, sort of 36, 37 degrees, 15 centimetres down and 40 centimetres down at 50 degrees, so quite a bit cooler than it's been 24 hours after turning previously. So that may well be the last turn. I'll monitor the temperature again for the next few days and then see whether we are all done. Day 16, pile is still largely covered. You see the larger one there, still sitting at just over 60, 61 degrees. The smaller one's almost bang on 50. I'm not going to turn it again today, partially because I don't have time, but also it is pretty well turned. It was very slightly composted before we started this string of videos, so it was slightly ahead. I'm just going to leave it a few more days and see whether it cools down of its own accord. Sitting at 60 odd degrees still, looking lovely and dark and crumbly, really just like compost. I'm going to leave it another few days, keep coming back every day and check, see where that temperature starts dropping. Finally, day 18, so this is on paper the last day for Berkeley Method. So about 15 centimetres in, that's sitting at 46 degrees. 40 centimetres in is sitting at 58 degrees. So there's still quite a bit of activity going on, but the compost itself, as it now is crumbly, slightly damp, but only slightly. Really nice consistency. Absolutely ready to be used. Doesn't really resemble what it came from just a couple of weeks ago. So a quick update, day 20, temperature's dropped a few more degrees, 56. No other changes really, looks in pretty good condition still. I'll drop by in a few more days, See if it's continued to cool. Day 23, just thought I'd check in. Put the plot. 46, 47 degrees, so it's cooling in the corner. And one thing that makes it really abundantly clear that it's cooling is we have life moving in, mushrooms forming, red worm wriggling away. Consistency really isn't changing much now at all, as you'd expect. It's nicely crumbly, easy to handle. I'll be more than happy to spread this as mulch.